But ladies and gentlemen, June 1st, here, past. It is now June 5th. OTAs is in full swing. I'm so excited because this means the season is coming closer and closer and closer. Got Nathan up in here saying, "What's up, y'all? What's going on, Nathan? Hey, good time you came in because we're gonna talk about some things." Janae said, "Haha, good times." Let's get it. Let's get it, yo. Hey, guys, let's go into it. I mean, some of your thoughts. Like OTAs is here, and I think one of the biggest things that we can kind of look at is there have been a lot of moves this offseason, especially at quarterback. We talk about Russ, Matt Ryan, the Commander. Commander wins. Is there any? Can we take anything?
I was trying to be it.
That was so good. I couldn't hold it in.
Commander's gonna shock the world. All right?
It's a joke. That's what Carson is. It's a joke.
Commanders.
Yes.
It's a joke. That's
He's gonna shock the world, and then we're gonna trade Heineke for Carson Strong, and it will be Carson 2.0, and we will have the Commander Carson goes. That's right. Commander Sam Commander. Or Carson.
Yeah, right. You literally laughed because you know Carson Wentz is a joke. But
we will see.
I mean, it's do or die for Carson this year.
It's the time. Hey, let's start there. Let's start there because that's my squad. Yes, there have been reports watching, there's a lot of people going to OTAs and a lot of, fans and whatnot. They've been doing reports on Carson. Obviously, this is OTAs, but they say he looks fresh. He looks like he has deep ball down packed. One of the things that I will say that does give me a little bit of confidence, though, I know, see, I passed right by that.
They said Jason Witten came back from retirement. They said, I've never seen Jason Witten's faster than he's ever been, stronger than he's ever been. Oh, yeah. Faster at falling on the ground.
Yeah, but that bar is not that high for Jason.
The bar's not very high for Carson.
Yeah, faster is like 5 seconds to get 10 yards instead of 6 seconds to get 10 yards.
He said 5.9 is a 6.1. Yeah. Yo, but I mean, one thing that I will say, honestly, is that one of the things that really kind of intrigued me about some of the things that they've been saying about Carson is that he's learning the system, and as he's kind of learning it, he'll go make some mistakes, and then he'll come back and be like, okay, how are you guys winning and ran? Because obviously we know he's run things in Philly, knows things run in Indy, but now in Washington, he's trying to figure out, okay, how are we running it? How are we playing it? Now, the other guy that's actually getting a lot of attention, I think the word they used was Moxie. My guy, Mr. Sam Howell. Let's go. So I have no problem if Carson slips up because that means Sam's going to hop into that spot. But honestly, I'm not reading into this. I'm not buying into it. It's exciting because I love football, so I want to hear good things. Mm-hmm. But let's wait till the season gets started because we already talked about somebody that came in the beginning last year and he was great in OTAs too, and I got a quarter out of him. So.
OTAs are so hard to know, like, what is actually worth anything when people say things, because it's like, of course you're going to sit there and be like, they're better, they're good, like, this is the best we've ever seen so-and-so, this is the best they've ever seen Zeke, and they say that every year. It's like, I don't know, guys. I don't trust it until I see it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, this is all nice and puff and all that stuff, but it really, I mean, how much does it really play in to some of the things that have been going on? So it does beg the question. Carson Wentz, yeah, he needs to get a little bit more action in this time of the year, but you have Russ, you have Matt Ryan, both of who were traded elsewhere. Is this one of the things where it's like you need to show up right now and be with the team, or can they just show up day one? Like, what are you guys thinking of how their transition will be?
For the new quarterbacks, I definitely think they need to be there day one because, I mean, you're learning the whole new system. You're learning the receivers. You need to get that chemistry going. So it's definitely something.
Yeah, people on the status of, like, Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan and, like, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady don't need to go to their OTAs. They already know how the system works. They've already been there. But people like Matt Ryan and Russ who are, like, in new systems, need to be there, need to show up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. It's imperative for them to be there because there's a lot of terminology and things that you need to pick up on.
It's not like a lack of talent or anything. Right. It's learning a new system and connecting with people that you've never played with before.
Exactly. getting with those wide receivers, getting with how that offense plays. But then, that begs the question, though. So you got these guys that are in here, and it's good. You want them in here, you want them learning and everything like that. But it's better because, and this is what I love about the fact that we have Carson, is because you're here. You're in camp. You're actually working with these guys. You're getting to know these guys. One of the things that really got me hyped about Fitzpatrick last year, Fitzpatrick went out with the Logan Thomases and De'Ami Browns and Terry McLaurin's, and he went out and talked to them and did routes after practice, did stuff outside of it. And he was excited to play with us. That definitely hyped us up this year. But you got these three guys, and they're trying to figure their thing out. But it just lets you know that you need to be there because there's other guys, other big name quarterbacks that you're kind of like, what are you doing? And I'm going to stay in your division, Sid. Lamar. We know he needs to think about it. He hasn't signed a contract yet. Lost what potentially was one of his best two receivers. You need to be here. What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I understand Lamar's situation from both sides. Because Lamar is the type of quarterback that he's one injury away from his career being done. So I understand that he wants to go get his bag and get his money because he's still playing on his rookie contract. And just his style of play isn't usually something that lasts very long in the NFL. So I understand that he wants his money. But if for some reason they don't come to a deal and he still plans on playing this year, he might suffer long-term, even money-wise, because he's not going to have the connection with the new receivers that he's going to have with Marquise Brown being gone, Sammy Watkins being gone. I mean, he's got chemistry with Mark Andrews, but Rashad Bateman was a rookie last year, and he was hurt half the season, so he doesn't have that full season.
Never really seemed to figure it out anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't have the full – I mean, everybody's saying Rashad Bateman's going to be the guy, but
prove that he could be the guy.
Was hurt, and now Lamar's not there.
Huge sample size.
Yeah.
Right. And now Lamar's not working with him because he's missing out on OTAs. So I get that. I get why he's missing because to me, Lamar, he's won an MVP. Usually that means you get a bag. You should get paid.
Oh, there's people on ESPN saying Lamar shouldn't touch the field until he gets paid like Patrick Mahomes.
Especially because he got hurt last year. And telling you, one bad knee injury and if he loses a step at all, I'm an avid Lamar doesn't have the arm to be an NFL quarterback guy. He loses his legs for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He is not going to make money.
Do you think Dak, and this is not coming at Dallas, but I'm saying, do you think, because no, I'm not, but look, no, the reason why I'm saying this is because Dak was in the situation last year. You know what I mean? He was going for the contract, that gruesome injury, and then Dallas waited to literally the 11th hour to go ahead and sign him. So it makes you, but do you think Dak's arm is better than Lamar's?
Yes. Lamar doesn't have an NFL arm.
Get me out of here.
I said Dak's arm is better.
I know. Sean even trying to say that Lamar, there's not what? Yeah, it's a no.
What?
Dak's arm is better than Lamar.
Is it really a no-brainer though? No.
You take Lamar's. Look at Lamar's accuracy. If you take Lamar's legs away, I'm telling you, he's a backup NFL quarterback.
Ooh.
Lamar's legs make him such a better quarterback. It's not even funny. And not only because the running aspect, his legs and the aspect that the chance of him running brings people up into the box and it makes it easier for his arm.
He can run away.
I'm not saying he's
what about
terrible
Dak?
passer, but
if you take Dak's legs away, what do we say?
He's not a running quarterback.
Dak doesn't run.
Dak's not a running quarterback.
He doesn't. He's not a running quarterback like Russell's not a running quarterback. He's not a running quarterback, but he can kill you
for a
with the
touchdown
run.
one time, and we all, as Cowboys fans, collectively lost our minds because he ran in for a touchdown one time. He doesn't run.
Dak's legs are a factor. He can run, yes, but he is a passer first. Lamar is a runner first, then pass.
Yeah,
because they run the option with him. The run pass option.
Now Dak runs scared now because he got hurt. So
Lamar, a lot of Lamar's passing comes from the fake of the run, so people have to stay close, and then he can just dump it over the top. It's an easier pass. You put him in a pocket. It's the reason. Look at his stats versus the Steelers. I use this all the time. The Steelers.
That's one team.
Because they keep him in the pocket. They keep him in the pocket, and he has a 50% completion percentage against the Steelers. not good in the NFL.
If you can keep him in the pocket.
And that's all I'm saying. His legs are a factor. So as long as he has his legs, he's going to be a great quarterback, and I mean he'll win games for sure.
He's like watching a video.
But that's why I'm saying if he gets hurt and loses his legs for whatever reason, he won't make it in the NFL because he's not the pocket guy. And I mean, I get it's a small sample size because not many teams can contain him, and that's to his credit. That's also his danger. That's also his danger because he's gonna get hit a lot more, and that's why I'm saying if he deserves to get paid, he should get paid. But if he gets hurt, he's gonna lose a lot of money.
It's interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting because I think Dak and him are similar in the sense that Dak doesn't have the legs of him, but Dak is very dangerous with his legs. But as far as throwing, it'd really be really hard pressed to tell me that Dak is a better thrower because we've seen Dak doesn't really get it to his number ones all that much. He goes for his 2s and 3s. Dak
takes the easier route.
You can say that about Lamar too. Because a lot of it is with Dak that first year, a lot of it was what the RG3 offense was.
2, 3, 4. Lamar doesn't get it to his number 2, 3, 4.
He doesn't really have it. He has Mark Andrews and
that's
other guys. So, but
that's not. It doesn't make any sense.
Just because
Lamar
Dak
Jackson doesn't have anything.
Well, just because Dak gets it to his 2, 3, and 4 doesn't mean that they're great. He does that at the detriment of Amari Cooper.
Has the best arm in the league. I think it's better than Lamar Jackson. All
right, here comes Nate. So is Kyler Murray a running quarterback?
Speaking of another quarterback who is not paid, but wants
I think he runs more than Dak, but passes more than Lamar. If that makes sense.
If Kyler was
I don't feel like Dak runs that much.
Not last year.
I'm just
not last year. Before, I believe so.
Oh,
he used to run before. Yeah, last year.
Yeah, but then now he's scared and saying I ain't gonna make those runs anymore because I'm gonna end my career if I keep doing crap like that.
And he also has 8 games against the NFC East. So
6, but yeah,
that's also not his fault.
Yeah, 6. Why did I say 8? Oh yeah, because it's 4.
Because there's 4 of them. That makes sense. I mean, I get what you're doing. It's all right.
Gotta be talking Dallas and all this. Oh my goodness. But you can make the same argument for being a pocket QB. Look, Kyler.
Yeah, if you lose your arm, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you lose your legs, if Kyler loses his legs, he's not it at all.
I think Kyler has a better arm than Lamar.
Kyler's 5 foot. What, like 5'11"? He
still has a better arm.
So I mean, yeah. So is Russ. Russ is 5'9", and I mean he's got
another one with the legs. Another one with the legs.
But they don't rely on their legs like Lamar relies on his legs, and I'm not sure
it's a huge part of their game.
But and I'm not saying it's a bad that. Yes, that's a part of his game, and it makes him as elite as he is. The problem is Lamar takes way more hits than any of them. Than Kyler, than Dak, than literally any other quarterback because he runs it so much. Right. And so it's cause for injury more. He is more susceptible to injury than any of the other quarterbacks.
The RG3
that's my argument, is he could get hurt easier than any of the other quarterbacks.
I'm not saying Dak is more talented than Lamar. You're just saying which he is, but that's different. You're just saying that
I'm just saying Lamar needs to get paid earlier.
Has a greater chance of getting hurt.
Because if he loses his legs, which is more likely than if Dak or Kyler loses their legs because they don't run as much. Yeah. That's this is what I'm saying.
I completely agree with that.
Then he loses it.
I completely agree with that. My only difference, and then we're going to move on from this. My only difference is if Dak, Lamar, Kyler all lost their legs, I don't think the difference is going to be that big between them as far as arm talent. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I would rank it though. Arm talent with no legs involved. Dak, Kyler, Lamar.
Yes.
Sean, move on. The season will be to tell a story. We'll have something to prove. Hey, everybody does. They came for Carson in the beginning of this segment, so we all got something to prove it here. With all due respect.
People say for Dak literally every second of every day. I saw a tweet on Twitter earlier. Someone's like, "We'll trade Dak for Carson Strong, get rid of that backup." Just talking about how Dak's is terrible. I'm like, this is just a dumb.
Throw in Simi Fioco and we got a deal. All right.
Yes. God, that's another one.
Oh man. Well, look. So I mean, at the end of the day, if any one of those 3 gets hurt, we see what happened in last year. Last year, what happened with the Cowboys is once they got hurt, there was nobody behind, and that's what became the big issue.
Yeah.
Same with the Ravens. That's
exactly.
Lamar got hurt. They were first in the North, and then they didn't even make the playoffs. So, hey, that's my argument. Lamar can't do it without his legs.
It's going to be interesting. Let's see how it plays out. But one thing I will say to that.
It also plays in Lamar's favor, though, because he can be like, look how good you guys did without me.
No, I'm saying Lamar should get paid.
I know, I'm just saying.
He should chase a bag.
He should get
I agree. I think Lamar should get paid.
I would not pay him
back on the field. I would not pay him Patrick Mahomes money.
I wouldn't pay him more than 4 years guaranteed.
Yeah.
Personally, because he's too injury, like not injury prone because he's only gotten hurt once, but he's too injury susceptible because of the way he plays his game. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but it's like the RG3 effect. I get it. One good hit and he's out, but he's been able to not get hit and playing in that
got hurt
division.
last year.
Oh, one time. Look, we could be on this all day. Let's talk AFC North, Ravens versus Steelers. That's why we need to get you and them on there. But look, we do. But talking about depth, that is a huge thing, and we're gonna go ahead and move on real quick. San Francisco and Cleveland, both of them are in kind of that situation. Different as far as how it plays out, but they do have solid quarterbacks, or at least we think, as front and as number two. So let's talk about San Francisco with Jimmy G, Trey Lance. Like, they moved up. They moved up to get him in last year's draft. San Francisco did, but Jimmy G still on the field. And the whole big thing is if Jimmy G stays healthy. But as long as he has stayed healthy, he seems to kind of get the job done. What do you do? I mean, they've been talking about shipping him out, but do you get rid of Jimmy G or do you just let it go until the wheels fall off?
I think you've invested too much into Trey Lance to not give him the reins, essentially. It's not like an Aaron Rodgers situation where he just fell to you late in the first round, and so you can let him sit for a couple of years and then give him a shot. Like, you traded up, you gave up a lot to go get Trey Lance, and usually when you're making moves like that, it's because you want to win now, because you have, Debo, Nick Bosa, young defense, and you have the pieces that you think can make, like Trent Williams, their offensive tackle. He's older, but you can't wait too long to let Trey develop. And things I've read and seen is Trey is balling out in the OTAs right now. So, and with Jimmy not being there, he looks great with the one. So, I think personally they should give him the reins. I think it was great they let him sit 1 year. I think it's always better to sit at least 1 year in the league before you go through it. But with how much they gave up for him, I think it's time to, all right, let's see what we invested all this into and give him the shot to be the guy.
So
and
Jimmy G, who just won playoff games.
Did Jimmy win those playoff games?
How many points did
he? But that's my question. That's a great point,
backup
Ash.
quarterback now.
You trade him.
Well, see, but that's my question, Ash, and that's a good point that you raised. Is kind of like, I get it. The heir apparent. Let's get him in there, similar to what Jimmy G was when he came to New England. But my question is, as long as he keeps winning in a league that proves you have to have a quarterback to be at least somewhat successful, do you just ship him out? Yeah,
they don't know.
Can you just push him out?
Trey hasn't shown that he can win anything.
So the goal, what's the ultimate goal every year?
Get better.
To win the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. Yeah.
Jimmy hasn't won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
Okay, and he's had plenty of chances. He got there and lost. Has he been the one to carry them there ever? Is that sure, he's the starting. Hey, Tim Tebow beat the Steelers in the playoffs as the starting quarterback.
Yes,
didn't have a job the next year. So
I just feel like he's
just because he was the starter when they won doesn't mean he's the reason. You can always be better. Like, if Peyton Manning was sitting behind Jimmy G, but Jimmy G had won a couple games, are you gonna just let Peyton Manning sit?
Are we saying Peyton Manning and Trey Lance? Are we putting Peyton Manning and Trey Lance on the
Peyton Manning sitting there?
But you don't know what you don't have if you don't play him. Patrick Mahomes.
Is it a rookie? Is it a rookie Peyton Manning?
Patrick Mahomes sat for a year behind Alex Smith. Alex Smith went to the playoffs, and they said, "No, we got this dog back here that we need to let go."
Yeah, if they're confident that, I guess you have to be pretty confident you moved up.
Alex was good.
Him.
Yeah,
they were making the playoffs. Like, they had a good team.
Yeah.
Again, but Alex Smith wasn't winning them games. He was game manager Smith. Alex Smith. We call everybody, that was his title,
Charlie,
which is what Jimmy G is. Game manager Jimmy G. He's not going out and winning games for you.
Yeah.
So they obviously believe in Trey. They traded up to go get him.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let him go. You gotta let him eat and see what you got. Because if he's not, because Jimmy G, he's not. You can tell now. He's been in the league for 8 years, 9 years now. You know that he's not a Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. You know he's not a guy.
Right.
So why? I get your team is winning games and he's your starting quarterback, but why not see if Trey can get you over the hump to actually win the Super Bowl?
Where's Jimmy G gonna go? Like the Panthers?
I mean, the Panthers, the Seahawks, they need quarterbacks.
They got sad quarterback rooms over there.
I mean, if Dak was hurt, would you want Jimmy G in?
If Dak was hurt,
yeah.
Would I want Jimmy G? Yes.
Over like Andy Dalton? To me, what's the difference between Jimmy G and Andy Dalton?
Oh, there's a large difference between Andy Dalton and Jimmy G. I didn't want Andy Dalton anywhere near the field.
I know you didn't, but
ever. Period. I would take Jimmy G.
Andy Dalton was taking the Bengals.
Andy Dalton
for
couldn't
playoff
win
spots.
anything.
He did actually.
Early.
Before, when he was with Cincinnati. But I mean, again, that begs the question though, because we're saying Jimmy G and we said Peyton earlier. Is this the rookie? Because we have not seen Trey. I get it that we need to. This is the future. Let's move on.
Trey played last year.
A couple. I think he was in for trick plays, like the goal line carries.
Jimmy G was never out like a whole game, and Trey played.
I think Trey may have started one game.
Were they later in the year? Yeah,
I think
it was later in the year he started.
How did he do?
He was decent,
I
think they played the Texans though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean he did decent.
But he won, so he's a winning quarterback. So he needs to be a starter. That's the argument for Jimmy.
He beat Mills, who always loses to the Texans. That shouldn't.
Who?
I can't remember. Off the top
Rams
of my head.
almost lost one. No, not the Rams. Who was it?
Houston beats people they shouldn't beat though.
I
don't know either way. I just like to argue.
The truth comes out.
I don't know. I feel like Jimmy. There's a lot of hate on Jimmy G, and I don't think there should be. I mean, he's an average guy. He's not.
He's average, exactly.
But you don't know what Trey Lance is.
Why are you holding a potential?
That this is the year to let him go. I just don't understand why Jimmy G is still there. Why haven't?
Because he's hurt. Because the teams don't want him right now because he's hurt.
Oh, I didn't know he was hurt.
So let me ask you this, Sid. If Jimmy G came now and was there, and it was Jimmy G or Mitch, who would you take?
Mitch.
What if you got a Jimmy G Debo combo?
Oh, I mean, obviously, I'll take Debo.
What would you have to give up to get that, though? You know,
those two should come in a combo.
That was a topic all up. Should the Steelers get Jimmy G? Should they get Baker? Should they get Mitch? I wanted Mitch the entire time.
Yeah.
I think Mitch Trubisky is much better than people think because of recency bias. Mm-hmm. Because of his last year in Chicago, they think he's not nearly as he went 13-3 with the worst Bears roster than the Steelers have, and Matt Nagy as coach. Mitchell Trubisky is a good quarterback. He was in a very bad system with a very bad head coach, and he got out. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, when he first came to the Titans, look how much he turned it around because the Dolphins just weren't right for him. Right. I'm not saying that Mitch is Tannehill or anything like that, but I truly believe Mitchell Trubisky has the caliber to be a top 20 quarterback in the NFL.
And Jimmy G?
And Jimmy G's not.
And not a top 20?
I would have to sit down and think about it. I would take Mitch over Jimmy all day.
I can see
it. I don't think
I would. Yeah. Personally, I don't think. Only reason I might is because North Carolina. That's where he played. But honestly, I kind of just I understand the injury issues, but Jimmy G's had experience in deep in the season, and Mitch,
But Jimmy G doesn't do anything. I mean, his Jimmy G's average stat line is 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. I
think they both would do good, and I think they both do good in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh has what you need. They have a solid defense. They have a great running game. They have a good front office. So I think either way, either of them would do good going there. But I do think Mitch, as far as upside and as far as health and stability, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Now you mentioned somebody else that's in your division, and this is somebody I want to talk about, and we discussed it a week ago. If this wasn't a divisional thing, would you take a chance on Baker? I mean, he did raise the Browns up.
Before Mitch, I wouldn't have been mad at Baker coming to the Steelers. I think Baker's much better than people give him credit for because they just of recency bias. Again, this is the NFL, and fans of the NFL are synonymous with how did you do the last 10 games?
What have you done for me lately?
I don't care what you did the last 5 seasons. What did you do the last 10 games? And Baker obviously played hurt. I mean, torn labrum, broken something in his shoulder.
That's if Baker's not very good play was because he was hurt, like they said he was. Like they were like he was really, really, really hurt, and he was playing through like a bad injury. You just the fans just didn't understand how bad it was. If that's why Baker declined so much last year, then I think I would take Baker all day.
And I mean, the other thing, the Browns were 1-31 the 2 years before Baker got there. 1-31. So I mean, he was walking into a great situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's made them competitive every year. They made the playoffs. They won a playoff game with Baker.
Yeah,
so
like, division's arguably one of the most competitive divisions in the league for the last.
I don't get the Baker slander
for sure
because of that. So I mean,
and so that brings us to our next question, because we already know the whole situation in Cleveland with Watson. Going there and got to $230 million guaranteed, although this year it's just the $1 million. We know all that speculation of him potentially getting a certain amount of games. We don't know where this is going to come down, especially now that there is a new allegation, the 23rd allegation that's come out against him. But
I saw a rumor that there's a 24th coming.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay,
so tomorrow.
Yeah, we could cancel Watson out of this season. I don't think there's any way.
You think the whole season?
I mean, if these allegations keep coming.
Yeah, you have 2 fresh ones that just came out. They got to take a stance on something. But
I don't know. Dan Snyder
NFL and women.
We'll see.
Deshaun Watson's gonna sell football. Like people want to watch Deshaun Watson play football this year. So
that's true.
I think he's suspended at least. I'd be shocked if he got less than like 6 games.
So then does Baker Mayfield
less than half a season?
I know.
But that's the question, because now you're like, okay, well, we already have a guy who has started for us, but he hasn't been at OTAs. So Baker, like I don't know, because Watson, I think we could pretty fairly assume that Deshaun's going to have some kind of repercussions for all the things that have come out. If it's 6, if it's 8, if it's the whole season, whatever. You have other quarterbacks that you've picked up, but you still have Baker here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough. Another one that I understand both sides. Like Baker, I mean, why would Baker want to go to OTAs right now? They literally just paid his replacement when he was supposed to get paid. They just after
they said, hey, we're going to look for somebody else. Oh, no, we're not going with somebody else. You're a guy just to turn around and be like, oh, just kidding. Now we have Watson.
Everything. Yep.
Like, why would you want to work for somebody like that who doesn't have any value in you?
I see that side, but I also see I would love Baker to start and go 4-0. And now what do you do, Browns?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're idiots.
Now what do you do?
Well, the Browns is the Browns.
We
know how they're going to play out. We know how they're going to play
out. I hope Baker does just suck it up and be like, you know what? I'm going to go out here and show them why they messed up.
Yeah, he throws in 4 games, he throws for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns.
If these last 2 seasons, when they brought them from 1-31 to the playoffs, hasn't showed them enough.
Right. And he just goes out and just decimates people.
Now you're good, Baker. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So, hey, look, at the end of the day, these things are playing out right now, and OTAs are going to be going on for a while.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.